It is BYO month here at Microcenter, and that means we are celebrating everything that goes into building your own PC. Now, obviously, right now, there is a lot going on when it comes to PC components, and unless you're living under a rock, you must know that memory prices are a little bit wild. But Microcenter's bundles are a great way to save big when you are planning your next PC build. So today I am here at the Tustin Microcenter, and I kind of want to challenge myself a little bit. I want to pick components for two different builds, and I'm targeting one Intel build and one AMD build. I want them to come in at around $1,000. So obviously at that price band, you are looking at 1080p gaming. That is really just what I'm targeting there. I'm going to play around a little bit with our bundles and see what some of the different price options are, and I'm going to see what kind of performance I can get for, again, around $1,000. So come with me. Let's go pick some parts. Now, I have my handy dandy laptop with me today because I am using this to help me with all of the different prices. Prices change regularly, and this is really the fastest way for me to pull things up. So I'm going to start with Team Blue. All of our Intel CPUs are over here, and we have plenty of Intel bundles right now. Now, there's one bundle that I have in mind, and that is for the Intel Core Ultra 7 265KF, and that's available for $529. But if I double check my numbers over here really quickly, I believe that there's two different options at that price point for Intel. So there's the Intel Core Ultra 265KF, $529, or I can do the 265K for $549. So that's going to give you integrated graphics, that K versus KF. KF means there's no integrated graphics on the CPU. Frankly, you don't really need it. If you really want those integrated graphics, they're great if you are into video editing, because then you can leverage those integrated graphics for like DaVinci Resolve and video editing and things of that nature. But if you're just gaming, you don't need it. You just need discrete graphics or a graphics card, and that's going to handle all of your GPU. So honestly, we could save a couple of bucks with the KF. For $549 though, you could also get the 12900K. Now that's a couple of generations old, but the cool thing about the 12900K, there's a couple of options with that CPU. Now, it's bundled with a Z790 board, so that's still going to come with DDR5 memory. But did you know that the 12900K or 12th gen Intel actually works with both DDR4 and DDR5 memory? So that means maybe if you already have an older PC and you have some PC components like DDR4 memory, you already have an NVMe SSD, but if you just want to upgrade just your motherboard and your CPU, obviously it won't be the bundle pricing, but you could get a 12th gen Intel, save a couple bucks there, get an older motherboard that'll go with that as well. Honestly, that's a pretty good way to save a couple of bucks. But for today, I'm going to go with that 265KF. So that's already $529. All right, so I do want to talk about that Intel Core Ultra bundle, right? So right here, I have the 265KF. This is also paired with the Asus Z890 AYW gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. AYW, that stands for As You Wish. But this also comes with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 memory from Crucial. So again, for $529, you're actually getting some good pricing on that, because the original pricing on this kit, I'm just checking my cheat sheet over here, $325 as of the time of filming this video, but with the bundle pricing, you're getting this for $199. So that's actually a pretty good deal right now that you can get for this build. Now, if you come with me over here, let's talk about graphics cards, because for this build, again, I'm targeting 1080-ish. Now, the GPU that I want to pair off with our bundle, well, I have a lot of different options available. I'm thinking about going with the Intel Arc B580. I'm a really big fan of this card, and this is a really good performer for 1080 and even some 1440 gaming. Now, here is where I'm going to start talking myself out of hitting that budget target of $1,000, because I don't know if you shop like I do, but there's always a little bit of budget creep with me when it comes to shopping, because I'm like, oh, if I only spend a couple of dollars more, I can get just a little bit better performance here and there, and next thing I know, I'm over budget. And I think I'm already headed that way. This is $369.99 right now, as of the time of filming this video. The other option I was thinking about was actually probably NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060, so that's gonna be 8 gigabytes of GDDR7 VRAM. And there was one option that we had for $299, but I'm leaning towards Team Blue for this one, because I know that this is a good performer. I know that the drivers are getting better and better. I've tested this out a lot myself, and I really like this guy. So kind of want to pair that off. But then you figure 369 plus that 529, we're already racking it up there. So where can we save so we could try to hit that $1,000 target. Well, come with me, let's go take a look at storage. All right, so for SSD, well, this one's kind of a tough one. I have a 512 gigabyte Gen 3 SSD from Inland, and this is $74.99 right now. Now, if I wanted 1 terabyte, I'm gonna be jumping into the $100 plus range. And this is kind of tricky. This might blow up my budget if I really try to go for a 1 terabyte right now. So Gen 3 speed's gonna be fine, but this is the kind of thing where I would use this for your OS for now in some games, but this would probably be the first upgrade I would want to do to this PC. So let's stick with this, but obviously knowing that we're gonna want to change this out one day. Or if this isn't a fresh new build, if it's not your first PC build and you already have a PC build, well, then you could save a couple of bucks by taking an old SSD and using that in your new build. So that's another option to take into consideration. But for now, I'm gonna stick with this one. All right, so when it comes to budget builds and cooling your CPU, air cooler all day. Air coolers are obviously great performers. And the other thing is price to performance is really, really good. Now I have the Thermalright Assassin X 120 refined. I like this, it's a single tower cooler. Now that Intel Core Ultra 7 265KF, that is a TDP of 125 watts. This can handle up to 225 watts, at least that's what this is rated for. There are only 4 heat pipes on this guy. It is a single tower cooler. Obviously dual tower is gonna be a little bit better, but that's gonna blow up our budget a little bit. And for $26.99, the single tower cooler, I know for a fact, is gonna work just fine. Also, RGB. So that means we should definitely get some RGB in our case, right? Can we pull that off on this budget? I think so. Now for power supply, that's an area where you don't really want to skimp out on when it comes to your budget, but there's a lot of different options that you can target. I'm looking at some of these 80 plus bronze rated power supplies right now. I was actually kind of thinking about this 650 watt RBO 650B from Lian Li. There's a 550, which I know will work for our build with that B580 and that 265KF, but I'm kind of thinking it's a $10 difference and I can get myself just a little bit more overhead than I might need in case I do add any components, change anything out down the line. I would feel a little bit better about getting the 650 over the 550, and it's only 10 bucks more. So let's go for the 650. All right, for our budget target, the nice thing is there's a lot of case options that are, let's say like 50, 60, under 70 bucks that come with fans already built in. So that's already gonna save you a couple of dollars there, because if you're looking at like a $90 case and then you have to get fans separately, that's gonna add up really fast. We have a lot of options available. I'm actually gonna go with this GAMDS Talos E2. This one's really nice, it's $59.99. You got 4 fans already built in, so 3 intake, 1 exhaust on the back. I'm gonna be pretty happy with this, so I think it's a good option. Let's go take a look at how much our cart is right now, because I have a feeling we're over budget. All right, so we are officially over budget. We are at $1,121. Okay, so here's the part where I'm gonna have to start making some adjustments and making some changes to try to hit that $1,000 target, but honestly, I think I'm still gonna fall over just a bit. First thing I'm gonna target is actually my GPU. I think I was being very optimistic about the B580. I really like this one a lot, but for $369 right now, I think we're overspending just a little bit. So let's come down and let's pick something else. I have 2 other options that are both $299 right now. Now, one of which is gonna be our PNY 5060, or I can go with an Intel Arc B570. Now, both of these are $299 right now. Well, what are the differences that are going to come up? Well, this has 10 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM. This has 8 gigabytes of GDDR7 VRAM. Obviously with NVIDIA, well, you get DLSS, you get some frame generation as well. You do get some of that with XeSS on your B570. So really it kind of comes down to your own preference. And honestly, for me, it's a toss-up. I'm actually kind of leaning towards the B570 because I am actually a fan of these Battlemage cards. And I do want to see them really support these GPUs more and more in the future. I'm really hoping that Intel can really pull through and give us some really good competitive GPU options. So I'm going to swap it out for a B570. So that means I shaved $70 off of our budget. Let me put my magical calculator to work and let's see where we're at. All right, so now our build is down to $1,051. Still It is not at that $1,000 mark. We are about $50 over budget. So where can we save some money? Obviously our SSD, that's about as low as I really want to go. There is a 256 gigabyte option that'll save me 25 bucks, but I really don't want to do that. 256 gigabytes, that's going to give you your operating system, and that's going to give you a handful of smaller games. No, that's kind of tough. I could make some changes. I could go and step out of the bundle and start picking out some things a la carte and working with one of our associates to sort of try to find the best deal that I can. And I think that's going to involve stepping backwards a little bit and looking at some of the older generation Intel CPUs, maybe even that 12700K. So let me take a look at a couple of options and see if I can shave off another 50 bucks. Okay, so I got our budget under control, and actually I got us under $1,000, but first I want to talk about what I did. Now, first of all, I have an Intel 12th gen i5. This is the 12600KF, but I got this paired off with this MSI Pro B760M. Now, this is an open box, so I'm actually saving a couple bucks here. And I went with DDR4 memory, because remember I talked about 12th gen working with both DDR4 and DDR5. Now we do have some instances of 16 gigabyte kits, which is what this is. So this is actually two 8 gigabyte sticks. They're priced pretty decently right now. 16 gigs of DDR4, it will work for 1080p gaming. Is it gonna be the best? But it will work. So now I have a choice to make, because all of this, if this was a new motherboard, it is $1,001. So I am $1 over budget. But when this motherboard is brand new in box, it's $119, and because this is open box, this is $95. So that means I'm saving 25 bucks. So that means I am $24 under my $1,000 budget target. That's actually not bad. I'm actually kind of amazed I was able to do that. So that's pairing off now a 12th gen i5 with a B570. Although for the same price, I'm not actually just subbing this 5060. At this point, there's too many options and I kind of don't know which way I should go. What do you guys think? Either way, I hit my target, but I would still kind of go with the 265KF. It was 1050 or 1051. That was about how much it came up. And honestly, I know it's $50 over budget, but DDR5 memory, 32 gigs, that Core Ultra 7 is still going to perform really, really well. And I don't know, I think I might just go that way. So $50 over budget, but you know what? I'm going to call it a good build. Still keep it with the B570, and I think I'll be pretty happy. Why don't we pivot a little bit? Let's go to Team Red, and let's see what we can do with AMD. All right, so there's a lot going on. I enlisted some help because I'm really trying to hit that $1,000 target. We're doing Team Red now. And I changed things multiple times. So I'm gonna spare you me running around the store a lot. I started with the 9700X bundle, yes. But then I saw
it's the 7700X bundle.
So I jumped down to that one because that saved me 50 bucks. Same motherboard, 32 gigs of memory.
Yes.
Right? So that already saved me 50 bucks. So right now my cart is at $1,134. Do you think we can get that down a little bit more? But first, rate my parts. I wanna hear your opinion. So this is 9700X, but let's pretend it's 7700X, right? So that, same memory, same motherboard, right? So B650 gigabyte, that one's fine. 512.
512 NVMe. We're in the RAM apocalypse and the SSD apocalypse, so unfortunately, this is going to be gold and costing the majority of our budget.
But, I know, we are overspending there a little bit, but one thing I did mention was that if you have an older build, and if you have some SSDs laying around.
Or if this is one that people don't think about, if you have a laptop. If you have a laptop with an SSD in it, and pull out the SSD out of the laptop. I've done a couple builds recently where I've mentioned like, oh, you're upgrading from a laptop, just pull the SSD out. So
that would actually save us 75 bucks on this if you were going that route.
Yeah.
Okay.
And $75 for a 512 is pretty steep right now. We're still cheaper than most people, but it's like, it's still a lot. I used to sell those for like 30 bucks.
Yeah, literally.
So.
GPU, what do you think here?
9060 XT is kind of the go to the price point right now because the 5060 Ti is now like $500. Mm-hmm. And this card for $400, $100 less money, about the same performance. So if you're just gaming, this is more than fine. There's plenty of games now where 8 gigs of VRAM is a limiting factor. So if you actually want the PC to last longer, you're looking at like 12 or 16 gigs of VRAM, especially if you want to play at like 1440p, which surprisingly, this card is pretty decent at. So even getting like a 1440p monitor with this, you'd be
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Cooler's fine. Hyper 212, more than enough for a 7700X or 9700X. That's more than enough.
Yeah.
Also, this one was like, what, 20 bucks?
20 bucks.
Yeah, no, that's a good deal.
I think the Hyper 212 has been like the one, like the gold standard of just coolers for what, like 15 years? Because they've always been 20 bucks.
That's a good deal.
It's always been a good deal.
Power supply, I've got that for $69.99, but I think I can save a bit because that Lianli one that we were looking at, that one was like 10 bucks less.
The new Lianli power supplies are like coming in at a very aggressive price point because you can get a 650 watt non-modular, but at least it is ATX 3.1 for like 60 bucks. So save like 10 bucks there.
What do you think of my case?
Man, I hate Molex. We're still running Molex in 2026.
You're right, this one does have Molex. I've done this one before.
Yeah.
I might swap this. I honestly though, I do like the Montec cases.
It's great airflow. It's so hard to beat the value. It's just Molex. Like if you're willing to just...
It's a stack of Molex,
it
right?
is.
Because the way they interconnect, you end up with this stack.
It's like one black Molex, and then there's like a bunch of white Molex connectors that are just like all daisy chained together.
But price to performance, it can't be beat. So, all right, that's my cart. And let me just double check on my cheat sheet here. I'm at $1,134. So you were putting together a cart. What would your suggestion be to try to get it a little bit lower?
I don't know if what I did was better. I would I would nickname mine the bottleneck build. So
we were trying to see if, what was it, if a 5500 would match with, what were you targeting?
I did a 5070.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a 5070 is decently faster than a 9060 XT, but I did the bottleneck build of a 5500 with a B550M, 32 gigs of Corsair RAM, which like if you wanted to go to 16, you could technically shave like 100 bucks. A 5070, which is literally eating half of our budget.
Yeah.
And then the same inland drive, that's a 512 for like $75. And then I use the Lianli power supply. And I'm using a Cooler Master Q300L, but it is 40 bucks. So that's...
So that Cooler Master case, that's basically been a staple in all of the budget build videos I've always done, especially when it's an MATX board.
Yep.
Perfect size for it, 40 bucks. Honestly, you can't beat it. Were there fans in there? There's like one?
I can't remember if there's one or two. It's fine. The entire box is mesh.
Right.
I remember years ago shoving in a 1080 into one of those because I did this kind of form factor of just like the bottleneck build, and like it was fine. So
even with AM4,
you're only saving like 150 bucks off of the bundle. I would 100% recommend still just spending the extra 150 bucks and getting a 7700X, going to DDR5, having a modern motherboard with, you know, like USB-C.
That's what I ended up doing too for the Intel one. I ended up still sticking with the bundle because I got it under 1,000, but I'd rather just stick with the bundle because you still got all the modern features, like you said.
Also, like if you're doing the math on it, we're technically giving you the RAM for free. So, and with RAM being as expensive as it is right now, like, yeah.
It's a good deal.
It is. Especially on the higher end bundles, like the 9850X 3D, get a X870E motherboard for only 20 bucks off the 9800X 3D. Technically a faster processor, but it's like $20 in free RAM. Pretty good deal. So
I think AMD, we were a little over budget. I think there's some other corners we could cut. What if we just swap out that 5070?
Yeah.
Like what if we just drop the 5070? Get me like, actually take me back to this 9060 XT, right? If you get me back over here to this guy.
Which would still be completely fine. So the difference in performance between those two cards, like it is a decent jump, but considering that is now under 1,000.
So we finally got under $1,000.
But we're running a 5500.
I know, we're running a 5500 and you're on AM4, which is like, I mean, there's still AM4 options though, because you could still get even on the used market or even some options we get. So if you ever want to upgrade, that CPU, there's still some options there.
Because we still do sell the 5800 XT, which I haven't looked at that chip in a while, but I think the big one is like double the L3 cache. And then obviously the used 5800 X3D, which everyone has said is like still completely fine today.
It's still on all the benchmark charts, so
It is.
yeah, it's still hanging in
If
there.
it's still on the benchmark charts, probably fine. So
Remind me, was there a cooler for the that it was included, right? It was.
yeah, I'm using the included Wraith Stealth cooler, but again, this is the bottleneck build.
Right.
I'm not necessarily recommending this. I think again, like an extra $150 for this is way better.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's the hard part, is balancing when you're on a budget, because as you saw, I was juggling a lot of different components between both builds now, and we're just kind of jumping back and forth, but at least our associates, they could really help you out, especially when you have a target budget. All right, so we did two different configurations today, one for Team Red and one for Team Blue, and we were actually able to get both configurations under $1,000, but when you're really trying to hit that budget build, under $1,000 kind of range, there's a lot of compromises that you have to make along the way. On both sides, we had to look at some previous gen tech. So obviously we were looking at that AM4 CPU and AMD, and we were looking at that 12600KF from Intel. So obviously we had to dial the clocks back just a little bit, but all in all, we do recommend that you take a look at those bundles, because those are good values. You are getting modern features, everything that you need for a good modern build, and the price is actually still pretty good. A little bit over $1,000, but all in all, those are going to be really, really good performing PCs. Now, another thing you should really check out is some of our open box deals. We have a lot of open box deals that we have in the back over here. Sometimes you can get lucky because we do have GPUs that you can get from our GPU trade-in program. So that means you can save big on a wide range of different GPUs, and we do check them. They are refurbed, they're good to go. So it's another thing to take advantage of. So all in all, good luck shopping out there. Make sure you stop by your local Micro Center. If you are looking for a budget build or even a high-end build, this is the place to come. Stopping by your local Micro Center. And if you don't have a Micro Center near you, well, be sure to comment #I want a Micro Center near me.